Hello, we're Andy, the Maniacal Cinephile, and to kick off this stitched-together summer, we're riffing and reviewing Friday the 13th for its 45th anniversary.
Yay! I love campfires, canoe rides, and surprise hugs.
I brought the marshmallows and a machete. Guess which one is for you?
With a Friday the 13th stalking us this June, it's the perfect time to revisit the slasher that started it all. And no, it's not the one with everybody's favorite killer in a hockey mask, just yet.
Dang it!
Friday the 13th was produced and directed by Sean S. Cunningham, who previously worked with Wes Craven on The Last House on the Left. Cunningham, inspired by the success of John Carpenter's Halloween, wanted to make a low-budget slasher movie and thought Friday the 13th was a great title. To claim the title, Cunningham put out an ad in Variety magazine before the script was even completed. The screenplay was written by Victor Miller, who went on to mostly write soap operas. His greatest being the Friday the 13th lawsuit.
Maybe Friday the 13th is more dramatic in Spanish.
I could talk forever about this movie's legacy, so I'll be short. Friday the 13th taught us that summer camp is less about s'mores and more about scares. So after 45 years of making horny teenagers rethink their summer plans, does Friday the 13th still slay? Use our link in the description and promo code Stitch Together Pictures to get 20% off Fangoria magazines and merch. It's 1958, and two horn dog counselors at Camp Crystal Lake sneak off for a little bunkhouse boinking.
Somebody'll see.
Nobody is going to see. Unfortunately, while they're playing Hide the Salami, someone else is playing Stab the Counselor.
It'd be easier to run if you weren't going in slow motion.
Head towards the light.
Using the Friday the 13th logo is how I break into cars.
Flash forward to present day. Or, in this case, the summer of 1979, when disco wasn't the only thing about to die. A cheerful young cook named Annie is looking for a ride to Camp Crystal Lake.
Hi, girl. Excuse me. Hi, boy.
Me watching the ending of Sleepaway Camp.
Camp Mud. They're opening that place again?
Only when the rowdy teenage population needs to be thinned out. A truck driver agrees to give her a ride, but not before bumping into Crazy Ralph.
Never come back again.
Oh, shut up, Ralph.
It's got a death curse.
He says the same thing about the Waffle House. On the road, the truck driver warns her the camp may actually be jinxed.
Quit. Quit now.
2 were killed in 58, a young boy drowned in 57, and someone has been setting fires.
In 1962, they was gonna open up. The water was bad.
It drowned a boy, so they had to put the water in a timeout.
But Annie shrugs it off. 'Cause horror movie.
At least I'm not afraid of ghosts.
No, that'll be Tommy Jarvis in part 5. At the halfway point, Annie jumps out at the cemetery.
To save time, I wouldn't go too far.
She then hitches a ride from an unseen driver in a Jeep who speeds off.
Hey, wasn't that the road up for Camp Crystal Lake back there?
You know it's the road because when you get close, you can hear the score. Annie jumps out of the speeding Jeep and is chased by the cameraman. Poor Annie then gets her throat slashed by the mystery driver.
Before the fade out, she gave the driver 1 star on Uber.
At the soon-to-be reopened camp, we meet the owner, Steve Christie, rocking only a mustache, a bandana, and some cut-off shorts.
So that's how he got the funds. Starring in 70s porn.
Christie puts the future counselors, right to work, fixing up the cabins.
Well, come on, let's go.
I thought we had 2 weeks.
Buddy, you don't even have 2 hours. There's Ned, the clown, Brenda, Bill, Marcy, Jack, played by a young Kevin Bacon, and Alice, the final girl in training, who Steve has a crush on.
You draw very well. Do I really look like that?
Wow, it looks so real.
Thanks, Alice.
He thought about giving her a wet willy. Christie then ditches everyone to grab supplies before the incoming storm, but says he'll return after lunch.
He neglected to mention that downtown they call this place Camp Blood.
Because uptown, they have Camp Plasma. But that's only for the rich kids. While Brenda fixes up the archery range, Ned gives her a scare.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! The chances of you getting laid have disappeared.
I don't believe you!
What I hear when I tell people I'm 6 years old.
Ned horses around even more, fooling everyone into thinking he drowned, and he goofs off in front of the police.
Oh, shit.
Good thing the cop wasn't there when Ned was doing blackface.
We ain't gonna stand for no weirdness out here.
12 movies later. The cop is there looking for Crazy Ralph, but takes off before Alice finds him in the pantry.
I'm a messenger of God. You're doomed if you stay here.
He used up all the toilet paper.
You're all doomed.
There goes the drunkest bike messenger in town. After doing some peeping, Ned spots someone sneaking into a cabin and follows.
Hello?
Hello? A person who hasn't turned me down yet? The lighting grip then gives Jack and Marcy the signal that the storm has arrived, so they bang in a bunk bed.
Jack and Marcy are gonna get drenched.
Oh, somebody is getting drenched, all right.
She's taking her strip of bacon raw!
The lovebirds are completely unaware that Ned's corpse is above them. Ned finally got laid. Laid to rest? Full of bacon jam, Marcy leaves to pee while Jack lights a cigarette.
Doesn't he know those things will kill you?
Love must be in the air because Jack is hit by Cupid's arrow. His bacon is cooked.
So the killer was under the bed that whole time?
You know the mattress was bouncing off their face.
While Marcy is in the bathroom, a door opens and the killer walks in.
Aha! So the killer has feet.
Come on. You can never get those motion-activated sinks to work. Marcy hears a noise and investigates. Again, 'cause horror movie. It's a cursed summer camp, so it's either rusty pipes or a slasher.
Must be my imagination.
That puts the shadow in foreshadowing.
Weird. Usually the girl gets a splitting headache before sex.
Meanwhile, Bill, Brenda, and Alice drink, smoke dope, and play strip Monopoly.
It's easy. Instead of paying rent, you pay clothes.
I don't care what I have to pay. Somebody better fix that bathroom sink.
You're 2 steps from Pacific Avenue in Skin City.
She's gonna shoot him for trespassing.
Before Alice takes her top off, the storm blows the door open and Brenda leaves, needing to close her windows. Monopoly! You'll look for any excuse to do something else. Meanwhile, at the diner, Steve Christie is finishing up his 10-hour lunch.
Well, what do I owe you? Just a night on the town.
Get out of there, Steve! She's looking for more than just the tip. Steve tips old Sandy and then leaves in his Jeep until it breaks down and a cop picks him up.
I'll have one of my cops just bring me back in the morning. Why not?
If any of them make it to the morning. Brenda then does a whole bunch of nothing in the bathroom and then her cabin until she hears a child's voice. She's gonna get there, and the kid needs their juice opened.
A child in danger? This calls for drugs and premarital sex!
Brenda is lured to the archery range, blinded by the light, and killed off screen.
Maybe the killer crushed her with the rain machine.
Alice and Bill enter Scooby-Doo mode and search the cabins to find their missing friends.
Did Marcy lose weight?
Little buddy, that's an axe.
Welcome to Camp Crystal Lake. Your turn-down service includes a mint on your pillow and a murder weapon.
In the squad car, the cop tells Steve about all the lunatics out there tonight.
More homicides, more of everything when there's a full moon.
Steve looks over, and the chief has his ass out again.
Your old Ralph was out your way today. His wife was a nervous wreck till we got him home. No.
Wait, you're telling me there's a Mrs. Crazy Ralph? The chief gets called to a head-on collision and needs to drop off Steve. He jogs back to the camp until someone shines a light in his eyes.
Oh, hi. What are you doing out in this mess?
I got it! The killer is the cameraman!
No, little buddy. But whoever it was, Steve Christie, knew them. At the camp, Alice discovers that the phones are dead and the car won't start. Again, 'cause horror movie! When Bill goes to fix the generator, Alice decides to brew some coffee. Are they really showing this in real time? Is the coffee slow roasted? The tension, it's diminishing.
Please, will something reach a boiling point?
Eventually, even Alice gets bored and looks for Bill, finding his body stuck to the door. I used to be a counselor like you, until I took an arrow to the... everywhere. Alice freaks out and barricades herself inside a cabin with rope, logs, magazines, and chairs. She arms herself with a bat and a giant fork.
In case the killer is a giant sausage.
Also, I think your kettle is finally boiling. Alice moves over to the window, just in time for Brenda to drop in. Brenda is always doing her impression of the Kool-Aid Man. Alice sees a Jeep pull up and exits the cabin, thinking it's Steve.
Well, I'm Mrs. Voorhees.
Enter Mrs. Voorhees, an old friend of the Christies, and a sweater enthusiast. She's here to elevate the movie and to save it from being a mediocre slasher.
They'll kill you too? I'm not afraid.
It's okay. She was told to remain calm by the voices in her head. Mrs. Voorhees reveals a young boy drowned back in 1957 because the counselors were too busy doing their anatomy homework.
His name was Jason.
Just my luck. No! This is the first movie! You're not the killer yet, Jason! So scram! Yes, I see your machete. Why don't you go sharpen it for whatever the Jason universe is cooking up for ya? Okay? Bye-bye. See ya! You know what? At least he listens to his mother. Unlike my son. Wait a minute. Am I crazy? Nah.
He wasn't a very good swimmer.
I'm surprised he didn't float with that big empty head.
I am Jason.
So now she's picking off horny teens in his name. She's also the reason why Drew Barrymore died in Scream.
Then you should know Jason's mother, Mrs. Voorhees, was the original killer.
Jason was my son, and today is his birthday.
Happy birthday.
I got Jason the perfect gift. Some arm floaties. I give up.
When Betsy Palmer was getting into character, she envisioned a mother who had a child out of wedlock, who was left by Jason's father and disowned by her family. Premarital sex gave birth to Jason. It also killed him, so now she's puritanical and psychotic.
Look what you did to him!
Her? What about Mother Nature? She did Jason dirty.
Mrs. Voorhees pulls a knife and gets a fire poker to the ribs, allowing Alice to run for the Jeep. Look who finally decided to show up for work.
That's dangerous. Annie isn't even buckled in.
An interesting career move. He went from 70s porn star to piñata.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her.
This shot and the words kill and mommy inspired composer Harry Manfredini to create that signature sound effect.
And I just went, K. And then mommy, I just went, ma. And then I went up to a microphone, I just went, K, ma. We ran it through something called an Echoplex machine.
Until now, the killer has been a POV shot, so the score stands in for the killer, like the music does for the shark in Jaws.
Don't let her live. I won't, Jason.
Norman Bates thinks he's his mother. Mrs. Voorhees thinks she's her son. Imagine that play date. Mrs. Voorhees' reaction when people forget she's the OG killer. Alice grabs an unloaded rifle, but manages to smack Mrs. Voorhees in her crotch and face.
Mrs. Voorhees is going to have 2 sets of swollen lips.
Alice hides in the pantry, but it still smells like Crazy Ralph, so it's hard to breathe. Hey, you need to shut up. Here's Mommy.
Frying pan. hands. They can scramble more than eggs.
Good thing Mrs. Voorhees is totally dead and not going to interrupt what I'm about to say. Alice and Mrs. Voorhees then have the most awkward cat fight ever on the beach. It's like watching two ladies fight over the last beach chair. Fed up, Alice bites Mrs. Voorhees and runs for the machete.
Again, you would run faster if you weren't in slow motion. Oh no! It's happening to me now! Help!
Whoa. The only thing holding her head on were two toothpicks.
Jason's mama also has the hairy hands of a man.
Actually, she does. In reality, those hands belong to the assistant of Tom Savini. Alice sails off in a canoe like a sad gondolier for a well-earned nap. In the morning, the cops arrive, the music swells, and we get a serene ending. Nah, she gets tackled by a waterlogged Jason.
Jason is like Aquaman if he rode the short bus.
Evil. Shut up. 45 years later, and that jump scare still works. You let your guard down, then bam! A mud-covered middle schooler grabs Alice like she owes him lunch money.
That right there is a future astronaut.
This jump scare wasn't even in the script. Tom Savini saw the ending of Carrie and wanted to copy it. Alice wakes up in the hospital and they have to sedate her butt because it's cracking up.
Are they all dead?
Yes, ma'am.
Alice is left questioning reality. Was that a dream or not?
The boy. Is he dead too?
Ma'am, we didn't find any boy.
We didn't find him in 1957, and we're not gonna look now.
Then he's still there.
Yeah, so Steve Christie left his Jeep on the side of the road. He said you could move it? So there you have it. The original Friday the 13th. Before hockey masks, before telekinetic showdowns, before Jason took trips to Manhattan, hell, space, and Elm Street. Just a psycho mom, a summer camp, and some horny teenagers. With a budget of $550,000, Friday the 13th went on to make $59.8 million. Friday the 13th may have started life as a shameless cash-in on the success of John Carpenter's Halloween, and Sean Cunningham fully admits it. But what it lacks in originality, it more than makes up for in gore, atmosphere, and one of the most memorable twist endings in horror.
I still can't believe that Ghost was Bruce Willis the whole time!
While the film suffers from a bare-bones plot, cardboard characters, and some sluggish pacing, it still manages to carve its name into horror legend thanks to Harry Manfredini's iconic score, Tom Savini's inventive special effects, and the unforgettable, campy performance by Betsy Palmer. She admits she thought the film would be a piece of shit and only took the part to buy a new car. It was worth it because she gave us one of the best psycho moms in horror, Mrs. Voorhees.
It must be nice to have a loving mother that would do anything for you.
You know what? Like Jason underwater, don't hold your breath. It's true that most of the young cast exist solely to be stabbed, slashed, or axed, and the acting, outside of Palmer, is mostly forgettable.
They had Kevin Bacon, and they turned him into a Camp Crystal kebab.
But the film's finale, complete with a surprise killer reveal and that literal Jason jump scare, upgrades it from trash to genre touchstone.
He's been marinating in that lake like a cursed pickle.
So, would I recommend Friday the 13th? Yes! It didn't invent the slasher, but Friday the 13th helped define the formula and rules for the horror boom of the 80s. Teens plus sex equal death. Creepy location plus mystery killer equals money. Critics hated this movie, but it's the fans that turned Friday the 13th into the juggernaut that it is. And with 12 movies, a remake, a video game, and an upcoming TV show, that's one hell of a legacy for the little ripoff that could. It's crude. It's cruel. It's a classic. I give it 3 out of 5 machetes. Happy Friday the 13th, Stitched Together family. We've been Andy, the Maniacal Cinephile.
Thanks for liking and subscribing.
Join our Patreon, hit the bell, and now watch another damn video. What the hell? No!